You're locked in to Independent Grind on Dash Radio. Tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern for the latest hip-hop news, music, and interviews. Independent Grind only on Dash Radio, baby. Tech 9!
Before we get into music stuff, I got to kick this off. I saw on Twitter you're a Black Mirror guy.
I'm a huge Black Mirror guy.
What did you think of the new season?
I liked, the thing, this new season of Black Mirror, it wasn't as good as the other ones, but like there were like standout episodes, like the first one, of course, everybody like USS Callister, and then Hang the DJ was really good, and then can I cuss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
Fuck yeah.
But shit, I want to say the last one, Black Museum, was that too, but the ones in between.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Crocodile was trash.
The highs were high and the lows were low.
Exactly. Like, old girl went around just fucking stabbing people the whole episode. I'm like, yo, what?
I did like the one with the robots, so Metalhead, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, Metalhead.
I thought it was cool. It was like a side one that didn't really like have a whole lot like crazy like plot behind it or anything, but it was just like entertaining and visually looked real nice.
It really reminded me of like a futuristic Clint Eastwood film.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I was like, oh shit, this cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like me and homie, Kendu, we ended up watching. Shit, we damn near burned through the whole season. Yeah. we damn near ran through the whole season. We smoked a couple blunts and like damn near ran through the whole season. New Year's, I want to say. Yeah,
I did that too. Where I just like that's what happens to me when I get a new show on Netflix is I binge watch it and then I just feel like dead or like empty. I'm just like, well, shit, what do I do now?
I mean, like I was mad I finished Black Mirror because I know I'm not getting another season for a long time. Mm-hmm. All my shows are like, well, except Atlanta's coming out pretty soon. That's gonna be like amazing. Game of Thrones, we're not getting that until 2019. And then we're not getting it's something else that ain't coming out to 2019 that I fuck with super heavy. And it's like I don't even know what I'm gonna watch.
Yeah. I hate how Netflix does that. They only give you one season and then you gotta wait. You gotta wait like 2 years.
Well, they also announced that season like 9 months in advance, so you get real excited and then you're like, oh wait, I gotta wait till like 9 months.
I mean, we waited 9 months, and then like of course you're gonna burn through the whole thing. You know what I mean? We're not about to sit here and watch that shit.
I finished Black Mirror like in 2 days and I was like, well shit. Like keep giving me like every month we can get this.
Yeah, I probably ended up like I wanna say I ended up watching 5 of the 6 episodes. Like at the homie house. And then I went home and I watched the last one. And I was like, fuck, what now? What do I do now? Shit.
Yeah, I didn't go out this weekend because I was taking a break. But I spent like Friday catching up on Atlanta. And I did the same thing where I was like, oh, this is like last me all night and like I'll be good, I'll last all weekend.
It never
I was like
done
in like 3 hours because I forgot they're in like half hours too.
And they're so I'm mad because it's so good. Like, they're so good. It's like you don't want to stop watching it. Like I want it to last, but I don't want to stop watching it. Like I don't know. My heart was broken when they said we not like when Sophie Turner announced that we like Game of Thrones wasn't coming out to 2019. I was like, fuck. I really don't know what I'm gonna do.
That's gonna be a rough.
2018 is gonna be a rough year. It's already starting off pretty.
Especially because that's like right in the dead where like nothing's happening. Exactly. Like at least like with sports, I'll be like, all right, like I got these to look forward to. I can do these things. That's like in the summer when there's just like nothing going on.
Like I live for that shit. Like, I live for Game of Thrones. Like that's my shit. That's like for the past, I don't know, since my senior year in high school. I like that's been my summer ritual. I wait till it's all over and then I binge it. I binge all the way through it. I didn't, but now I got HBO. We got HBO now, so I could have watched it as they came out.
Yeah.
But of course we don't got it this year. So it's fucked up. It's a fucked up situation.
How are you with music then? Like, do you find like an album? Do you listen to that album front to back all day, every day, or like you kind of mix it up a little bit?
Like when it comes to music, I am like, I don't know. I listen to music based on my mood.
Okay.
So like, and for the most part, I'm like, I don't know. I just really like real like kind of like low frequency. Like I'm a big Frank Ocean fan. So like I probably listen to Blonde twice a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the way
what is that emotion?
It's a range of emotions. Like I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell. It's like it's melancholy music, but like there's like a little glimmer of hope in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of color in his music.
It's a lot of color in his music. He uses a lot of like different vocal effects, and like there's a lot of different voices, and I don't know. I almost study it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I like I've been listening to Rex Orange County.
Yeah.
He's super dope. Yeah. Like he's sad. That's sad music. But it's like it's bright. It's bright, sad music.
Yeah, I feel like with Frank Ocean, he's kind of like one of those guys that you could kind of depict your mood depending on what, you know, like you could be happy listening to it, but you could also be sad. Like the next person next to you could be sad, you know, like it just has that power. Kind of like a Kid Cudi, like kind of like sad music, but then again, I could still like drink to Kid Cudi or something. Like I could go out or something.
Well, it's funny. I just got back into Frank Ocean too. Channel Orange is like one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah, same.
And that's always been like my go-to. Like if the weather starts to turn, it's real nice out. You can put the windows down and just like cruise to it. That's like one of my go-to. But it was like February and it was like 7 degrees. And I was like, I'm listening to Frank Ocean right now.
You can listen literally like it's. I don't know, like I'm damn near obsessive when it comes to like I'm not obsessive like with just his music. Like his music, like is just different. Like you don't get he's a different quality of artist. You know what I mean? Like you can tell that like he really takes his time and he layers his music. There's different meanings behind shit. And like I read like an article where they say he did White Ferrari. Like there were 50 versions of that song, 50 versions of one song, and like I want to say it was in the studio with like A-Track, and A-Track was like, yo, this is crazy. But that's like fucking version 20. And he's still got like 30 more versions of the song that he's like, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know, because it's the GOAT. So I listen to a ton of Frank Ocean, and then like sometimes I listen to other things. So like I've been like in like when I'm going, like if I want to go to a club or something and I'm trying to turn up, I've been you guys heard of Baka?
Yeah.
Drake's artist / shooter. You know what I mean? Like he has some nice turn up music. I like his shit.
What's something super unexpected or like off that people wouldn't expect from you?
Like just in general.
Listen to
that I listen. I don't know. The Outfield. Like it's like 80s super fucking like cheesy pop,
like electro or
kind of. They have this like their biggest song is it's like Use Your Love.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know, it's like super. It's just cheesy, and then Hall & Oates. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I recently got into Hall & Oates. Like I used to detail cars with my pops because like he's I guess the boss detailer at like his job, and he hired me, and like summer was so shitty because like I fucked up so many cars and like things like that. But like I'd get in a car and like it'd just be on a random radio station, and I heard it was a song called "I Can't Go For That" by Hall & Oates, and I was like, what is this fucking cheesy sounding ass like weird music? Like this is so weird. I looked it up, and then you just go down that rabbit hole and you start finding like a whole bunch of cheesy fucking like artists, and I mean, next thing you know, you on a dad rock playlist. You know what I mean? Like I was listening to Cold as Ice. I was like, what is I don't know why I like it, but it's cool. It's tight. I fuck with it. I don't know.
That's so funny. I always, whenever I take my car and I always leave it on, I always make sure to put, like, if I was listening to something lame, I'll like put it, like I was just like, took it in, and I had like the Weekend in, and I was like, no, I can't let him know I was listening to this. So I replaced it with like Nas or something.
I went through a DUI checkpoint one time, and like, I had to drive like 40 minutes to my job like every day, and I got into CDs, and I had this Bob Marley CD, and I was playing it, and I went through the DUI checkpoint, and they're like, first thing the guy says is like, turn that shit off. And like I didn't even like think that I was playing it. Yeah. But and obviously if I would have like recognized that I was playing that, I probably would have turned it down already, you know? And then he obviously just like brought up like the weed thing and was like asking me about that and was like about to search my car for that. And I was like,
I don't think that's probable cause.
Based off of like 30 seconds of a Bob Marley song.
I mean, Sublime maybe, but Bob Marley.
That's some cornball ass shit. Fuck whoever that was, because he sounds like a dickhead.
Screw that guy.
Well, let's get into, I guess, some of your own music. I guess starting out, I know you're from KCK. Why don't can you tell us a little about growing up? Like, grew up around here. How'd you first get into music and stuff?
Well, I'm originally, I was born in Morrilton, Arkansas. Real, small area. Everybody I lived around was, family. I moved up here, really young. KCK was just, I don't know. I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's cool. It's my town.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here for the majority of my life, and it really shaped who I am as a person, and that definitely extends to my music. But it was rough. It was definitely rough finding my voice within I started off really wanting to sound like Wayne because everybody in my high school liked Wayne. You know what I mean? So that was that's who I modeled my thing after, because I'm I just want people to like my music. I was rapping about shooting people and shit. I ain't never did nothing like that. You know what I mean? So
where at in KCK? Was there a specific part, or you just from KCK?
Wyandotte County.
Wyandotte?
I'm from Wyandotte
That's
County.
where I'm from, actually.
Oh, where?
Yeah.
Oh,
you probably
shit.
wouldn't think it, but
Hey, all right. Where'd you go?
my parents, I was a lucky one. They transferred me. I lived in Wyandotte, but they transferred me to a Shawnee Mission School because that's where my daycare was, and my aunt happened to run the daycare, so we used their address for everything. So I guess I'm lucky. You know,
that's super.
My backyard was the racetrack, the speedway, stuff like that. So yeah, man, KCK is its own place, man.
It's damn near the Twilight Zone. You know what I mean? I was driving around the city, and I saw a nigga outside on a horse, outside the barbershop. You know what I mean? I'm like, what is he gonna do with this horse? Is he gonna is he gonna is he gonna tie this motherfucker up and get his hair cut? How's that gonna? Yeah, how is that gonna work? What are you gonna do with this horse? But I see that shit's normal to me. You know what I mean? I see shit like that all the time, and I'm back to the music. My bad, that was a tangent. But I don't know. I tried to be like Wayne. I stopped having fun with it because it wasn't me, and then I kind of took a break from music, I guess, to reinvent myself and just kind of be more confident about myself and kind of displaying who I am through my music. I ended up stumbling across a Basquiat documentary on YouTube, and my first album was about Basquiat. We did a song called Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker was from KC, he's from KC and shit. And I kind of just started really becoming enthralled with art. So I wanted to kind of with Memento Mori, the goal was to make it kind of a piece of art on its own instead of trying to, take from another person's life and using it as source material. So my music has evolved into kind of, I think I've finally found my own lane with it. KCK definitely shaped it because all the shit in my life has happened in this city more or less, and I use it as source material for the music.
So when were you trying to sound like Wayne? That was high school, beginning of high school?
I was 8th, 9th grade.
8th, 9th grade.
It was me, and I used to rap. I did the rap group thing a lot, so I just jumped from group to group.
Remixes, or were you getting on actual beats?
Remixes. Yeah. There was no we didn't have no original beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would just we'd go to YouTube.
But that's the age that we grew up in. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22? Okay, yeah, that's around the same age I am. That's the age that we grew up in, though.
Yeah,
Wayne doing remixes.
We did. We did remixes. We go find an instrumental, YouTube, MP3. We rip it and then and fucking rap. And of course, I wasn't doing none of the shit I was talking about. But it was fun.
That's how it was.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah. So you took a break. Did people? I'm assuming high school, sometime around then, you took a break.
Mm-hmm.
Did people know you then as the rapper? What were you doing in high school?
People knew me as a rapper, but the older and older I got, I kind of didn't really want to be known as a rapper. I mean, it's not, and it not saying that rap isn't cool or anything, because rap is. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was tight, but just as an artist, I'm way more multifaceted than just being a rapper. You know what I mean? So people definitely knew me as a rapper. I didn't really want to be seen as a rapper. I wanted to be seen as more of an artist. and yeah, like I didn't have like a crazy buzz or anything around the high school. I wasn't like popular.
Did
you
play sports or you do?
I was
nothing?
bad at all of that.
Really?
Like I couldn't hoop. Like I get chronic nosebleeds and shit.
Okay.
Like slightest contact. So like
Really?
I couldn't do the sports thing. I would have bled over. I would have bled everywhere. Like it was pretty shitty because I definitely wanted to do sports, but you know, my mom was like, nah, it's not a good look.
So what were you thinking when you graduated high school? Were you kind of back on your music route, or like what was going through your head at that point? Or I guess in KCK, I mean, how is it? Like, you know, when people graduate high school, like what is their routes? Like what are you guys what are you looking forward to?
Some people I was lucky to have good friends. Okay. You know what I mean? So like a lot of my friends kind of pushed me into, I mean, I'm not gonna say they pushed me to start like really taking rap serious, but I linked up with my friend and producer B Will and the homie Eric Christopher, who also does some production, and we kind of honed in on what we were trying to do. As far as like after high school, I knew I was going to college because like I didn't necessarily want to go to college, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Mm-hmm. And I continued to rap throughout college. People, like I did Memento Mori, we finally dropped it. We worked on that over a span of like 2 years, and we dropped it, and people liked it. And I mean, of course, it's not like crazy popping or anything, but like I've gotten overwhelming, you know, support. Yeah. So,
are you still in college?
No, I graduated in December.
Where'd you go?
UMKC.
Okay. How was that feeling?
I didn't care, to be honest.
Really?
Like, I mean, like it's cool to have a degree, but like I want to do music, mm-hmm. and I mean, honestly, like I want to do music. I eventually want to do film, and then I want to like, I don't know. I just want to be in the entertainment industry,
right? And
I want to be in control of either like, you know, making my own music, or like I definitely like to write for like a show, maybe on HBO or something.
Okay,
like that's like mine.
Did you go to UMKC for business or?
I went for I was a psychology major.
Okay,
and a communications minor. So I ended up taking like with communications. I ended up taking like screenwriting classes because like that's kind of what I'm into. I'm into like film and shit and TV. So like I took screenwriting classes, and of course like the year I was about to graduate, they finally came out with a screenwriting major, and I was like, "Fuck you guys!" Like what? I did psychology because it was just whatever. Like I'm interested in it, but I would have definitely loved to, you know, try to learn how to write movies.
Does screenwriting at all, like how are that and songwriting? Are they similar? Did you find they're similar? Or is it different, like brain space?
Like screenwriting and songwriting, they're a little different to me. I feel like screenwriting definitely like helps me as a songwriter because it forces me to come up with like just different ways to tell a story through song. But like I would say it's a different headspace that I'm in, because like with music, you're kind of, I'm not gonna say boxed in, but like you're whatever I write, I'm pretty much a product of my soundscape. So I pick a beat, and the beat makes me feel a certain type of way, and then I write about how the beat kind of makes me feel, and I kind of like expand upon that. With screenwriting, I just fucking write. Like if I have an idea about a fucking religious cult, I'll expand upon that, and it's like, and then with screenwriting, you have to put a lot more detail into the stuff that you're doing. Otherwise, you're gonna have a really boring and bland script, and like nobody's gonna be able to connect to your characters. So, like, it's different, but I love them both for like different reasons. You know what I mean? Like they're both like loves of mine. So I don't know.
Did you ever have a point like with all these things that you wanted to do and are doing? Do you ever have a point where like you feel like you need to get out of here, like you need to go somewhere else, or?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Like
when did it hit you though, or like, I mean, I don't want to say that you like need to get out of here, but like when did that time kind of hit you where you're like, man, like I need to maybe go somewhere else, or?
Well, like I I don't really like. I'm not gonna say I need to go somewhere else, but I definitely think it would help me grow as a person to go somewhere else. I feel like it could have a positive effect on my music, whether that be like me getting more exposure or, you know, me getting more experiences to put in the music. I just noticed myself doing the same shit every day here. Like, you know, I'm making my music and shit, but like even outside the music, like I'm noticing like, yo, there are a lot of people that I just can't fucking connect with because like we're not on the same like wavelength. I'm not saying that I'm gonna go somewhere else and find that, but like this is a really small place and I love it to death, but like I'd like to go somewhere, meet people, have new experiences, get the rap shit, like start getting that shit rolling and then come back. I want to be the Drake of, you know, this area.
We interviewed a producer, Jay White did it. I don't know, you might have heard of him. Was he from Leawood?
I think so.
Something like that. He produced Cardi B's Bodak Yellow.
Word?
Yeah. And he came in here and he was like, it's kind of like what I did was like I had to like get away for a little bit, you know, and like he's like now I can come back and I can like revisit my old friends and like still do that same stuff that I was doing. But he was like, it took me to kind of like get away for a little bit to kind of like open up my eyes and realize. And I mean, dude, you said you were 22?
Yeah.
Like you're 22 years old. Like you got, you know, if you're going to do anything, like I feel like, or if you're going to find yourself, like now's the time, like you're going to do that, you know? Like,
yeah, most definitely.
We're all kind of going through that. Take us back to the album though. Like you said you worked on this for 2 years?
Yes.
Is that a product of songwriting, of engineering? Like what, you know, why so much time, I guess?
Well, most of it was engineering. We had to make sure that the album sounded the way it sounded in our heads. You know what I mean? Like we had an idea. We wanted people to hear the album how it was supposed to be heard. And if we would have went with like the first mix of the album, it wouldn't have. It just would have been another album. Like the songwriting would have been good, the beats would have been good, but like as far as like the mixing and shit, like that really took it to the next level. And that was like really a product of like B, like his B like was really like he was really honed in on getting the mixes right.
Okay.
I mean I didn't really understand the brevity of like of engineering until making this album.
Okay.
Because like it was honestly it was fun at first and then it eventually just became shittier and shittier and shit. Like not shitty, like the music started sounding better, but just the process became less and less fun. I was like, yo, this fucking sucks. I'm talking about death and shit, and it's like I'm hearing this shit constantly. I don't listen to it anymore. I mean, I love it. It's like a child, you know what I mean? It's like one of my children, but like I can't listen to it anymore because I've heard it so much, and it's just like it's not new to me, you know what I mean? So I have different. I'm not always sad. Like I feel like it's a very like melancholy album, but like there are spots here and there, but like I'm excited for this year because I'm gonna show a lot of people a lot of different sides of me. You know what I mean? So I mean, but the engineering was that shit. Like that shit is what drew it out for the longest. Of course, there were times where like with Sometimes, when we did Sometimes, the first version of that song, I had a verse. The first verse was fucking garbage, and I hated it. I was like, yo, I'm not putting this out. And then B was like, he's like, bro, just sit on it for a little bit. Sat on it. I ended up writing a second verse to it. I love the second verse. Still hated the first verse. Still didn't want to put it out. You know, months passed. I guess this is the luxury of like working on an album for so long because you can chill, you can think, you can come up with like just different versions of a song. And then I ended up writing another verse and it stuck. And I was like, okay, yeah, this song works. And so there were times where like the songwriting, we'd want to build songs up, the engineering, just like we'd find little things and then we'd want to add and add and add and add. And then we continue to just fucking beat our heads against the wall, just working on the same 13 songs over and over again. And it's like, it came out good, but like, I don't think I could honestly listen to it anymore, like personally, because it's like, it's nah.
At what point in like your life do you think you're taking people through on the album? Like, what are you speaking on most, do you think?
Well, like as far as like the point of my life that the album is based off of is kind of like, I want to say it was around probably from 16 to 18.
Okay.
I had lost my grandma and I lost a close friend. I lost two close friends the same year, all health related type shit. Not like nobody got like shot or anything, but like it was all like some health related shit. So I was seeing a lot of death, and I'm not really one to, talk about my personal life on that level, but it's easy for me to like talk about it through music because like there's so many nuances that like you just don't I feel like music, I'm not gonna be able to make people feel the way I felt in a regular conversation, because sometimes I just don't have the words. I don't have the time to like think about that shit. You know what I mean? Like with music, I can write shit down, I can edit it, I can like, okay, this will sound better. This will, then the music behind it produces a feeling. And 16 through 18, I watched the anime one summer. It was so long ago. I don't even remember like how many. Like it was a while back, but it was called Death Parade, and I fell in love with it because it was colorful, but it was like melancholy at the same time, and it was like, I don't know, it was about death, but it was like in an interesting way. So it kind of made me like want to write an album about death, but do it in an interesting way, not like just the regular, niggas dying, this, that, and the third, people getting shot. But I want to create a character like Father Time, death. I wanted to kind of create my own story. I wanted to play out like a movie or an episode of a show or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool that you spent a lot of time on this, and like I feel like that doesn't really happen enough sometimes, like in this industry right now, is like, there's room for it. There's room, and there's, room not to do it either. You know, like some artists, it doesn't really work that way. But, we sat here and we talked about Frank Ocean for so long, and like, he's the Kanye guy of, fans of all fans,
Me too.
So it's like,
like Kanye's my guy. So.
Right. And then like, I think of like my favorites, and it's like, they all have this same thing. And it's like, they just spend time, like they spend so much time and they put energy, and, there's not just like one thing that it came from. It's like all these things. So that's cool that like, you're kind of in that same headspace, like.
I am. I mean, but I feel like at the same time, I'm kind of like a victim of the time that I'm in though. Okay. Because like Kanye, Frank, they came out like a while back where it was cool to take some time on an album, where you could drop an album, let that album sit for a year, maybe 2 years, come back with a whole new sound and like shake shit up. But now motherfuckers want like consistent. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's good to drop consistent music. And I definitely want to be more consistent, because I feel like as a up and coming artist,
you kind of
have to stay on.
You know what I mean? I have to drop music in order to stay on people's mind and conversations. But once I get to the level that I want to get to, I'm definitely gonna like take years between albums. Make new experiences, because like I don't know, I don't want all of my music to sound the same, because that's what music is like nowadays. Everything's starting to sound the same. Somebody will drop a single, and then the next single will sound exactly like the last shit that they dropped.
Drop an album, and then a week later,
drop another album. Don't get me wrong, I love Future.
Yeah,
that's my guy. Like when I'm ready to club, I listen to Future. I'm drunk, I listen to Hendrix. But like, it's just, that's not the type of music that I do, and that's not what I want to do with my stuff. So
what's it like? I guess it's interesting that you like. I mean, this album feels new. It feels current. You just released it. But you were saying you were taking you back to when you were 16 to 18. Is that weird at all to like almost like work? Because it's weird. Like almost like you're in two different like time worlds or something. Like it's like a Black Mirror episode.
Like it's definitely weird, because like it's weird, but it's not, because I'm like, just me as a person. Like I like to reflect. I like to sit back and reflect. And like when I seen the anime, it kind of put me back in that area. So it was really easy for me to like go back and just, I don't really like explicitly write about what was happening from 16 to 18. It's more so how I felt. And I kind of like tried to build a story upon like how I felt during that time more so than like what was actually happening. So, you know, I'm writing about the feeling. I'm not really writing about like the events. So I don't think it's too weird, you know.
Did your goals change for it? Like starting out, did you know, like, I guess, did you have like a vision for it when you started out? Were you just kind of like starting like, I'm just going to make a project, and then 2 years later you have this vision where you're doing this impressive rollout with like McDonald's, which we'll get to and stuff. But I guess, did you always intend for it to be like that? Or was it just sort of, you started just like, I'm just going to make music to make it?
Well, like my first project, yeah, no, I definitely started like that. Like now that I think about it, like it's been so long, like it's turned into something a little different from how it originally was. But like, I'm not a big like promoter, you know what I mean? Like I'm not the type of guy that'll like spam SoundCloud links. I'm not gonna send SoundCloud links to everybody on my fucking TL, because my thing is like, if you're interested in me and you know I make music, I want you to discover my music, and I want you to feel how you'd feel about my music. Like I don't want to present it to you, because then you're gonna feel like you got to tell me the shit good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is. You know, motherfuckers will fucking DM their links to thousands of people.
Yeah.
Check my shit out. Check my shit out. People check it out. Or sometimes they don't even check it out and they're like, oh, that shit fire. Like, nigga, I only got like 100 plays. Not all of y'all think this shit's fire. I ain't got no likes. I only got 100 plays on this shit. I sent it to 1,000 people. 1,000 people told me it's fire. The shit not adding up. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather people just discover it naturally and like shit like that. Cause I don't know. I've never been like a real big promoter. So I was lucky to run into people who wanted to promote my music because they believed in me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I built a team, and that's how it turned into like an actual album release. You know what I mean? Because truthfully, we probably would have got done with Memento Mori if I didn't run into like the homies, like my homie Jesse, my homie Ghost, my homie Jack. Like, me, B, and Eric probably just would have dropped that shit and like made another album. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad it didn't happen that way, because it's like, even though like Memento Mori didn't really do as well as I wanted to, like in terms of like the sheer number of people who listen to it, but out of the people who listen to it, I'm really glad that people really think it's a good album, because I know when it gets out there, if we continue to market it correctly and we can get it in front of a couple more eyes, then like, who knows what it could do, because I haven't heard anything bad about it. And I just think it just needs to be exposed more, you know?
Tell me a little bit about the Ronald McDonald partnership. I think that's cool. Like, you sent me that and I was like, well, I've never seen an artist like do that before. Like, let's talk about that, like how you want to do it, how you came up with that idea and stuff.
Well, like I work with children. I'm going to be a youth caseworker like here in about a week, because you know I got my degree and
congratulations.
Yeah, I just got a job. Thank you. So I'm going to be doing that, and I also like I'm a mentor with Saturday Cat. Like there's this I do like mentoring for this program called Saturday Academy, where we teach like urban youth about like, you know, the benefits of trying to be in a STEM career, you know, like science, math, technology, engineering, I think. Yeah, shit like that. So I've always been in that space. The homie Jack was like, let's do a charity event. And I was like, shit, all right, cool. And it happened. You know, we partnered, we made the call, they said they were with it, and yeah, it happened.
Was it a good turnout? Was it, I mean, how did you feel about it at the end of the day?
I felt great about it. Like whether one person pulled up or millions of people pulled up, like the fact that like there were people who came out to both support Ronald McDonald and, you know, me, because I mean they came to talk to me and the homies. They wanted an album, they wanted a hard copy of the album. Like, that's cool. I could have just, you know, people.
One of those things that's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation.
You know, no matter what happens.
At the end of the day, like, you know, I got to do it. It's a story that I'll have for the rest of my life, and it's, I don't know, it's cool. Like I enjoyed it. The turnout was cool. Like people came, people showed love, people ordered albums online, and you know, it happened.
How do you feel about the KC scene as far as like your place? Because I feel like you're relatively new, but you know, you're kind of like you're on the scene as far as like Kansas City is concerned. You know, like I before Jesse had kind of like sent over your album or whatever, he sent over like a pre-link, I think, to me and you, and you know, we're asking us to check it out, and like you dropped Storm like 6 months or so before the album, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw that. I think I saw it from Kendu, and you know, obviously, people in Kansas City were showing love and everything. So, do you find yourself like in that space? Like, do you want to be like a Kansas City artist, or like, you know, how is it just dealing with those guys like G and Riley and all that?
Like, I don't really like. I definitely consider. I don't know. This is a hard question to answer because like I feel like a lot of shit gets taken out of context, and people might find this to be, I mean, it's not really, I don't mean this with any ill intent, but I don't really, I feel like I'm in a space on my own. I don't really put myself in that box. I don't want to be a Kansas City artist. I want to be the biggest artist in the world. Yeah. I think a lot of artists here kind of get caught up in being the guy in the city, you know what I mean? But like, Kansas City is a microcosm of a way bigger machine when it comes to like music, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody's goal should be to be the biggest artist, either the biggest artist on the planet or the best artist you can be. And my goal is to be both. Like, I want to be the best artist I can possibly be, but I definitely don't want to limit myself as a Kansas City artist. Right. So I try not to really like, I don't really pay too much attention to no other artists here because I'm not really interested in being friends with any other rappers. I'm not really interested in like none of that. I just want to make the best music I can possibly make and mind my business. You know, just I'm with the homies most of the time. I don't really like hang out with a bunch of other rappers.
I think your music like speaks for that too. Like your music is definitely different than anybody in Kansas City right now. You know, not to like limit it to that, but you know, like it's definitely different, and you could tell that, you know, those are great guys and everything. Like I fuck with him heavily, but you know, at some point you have to do it for yourself, and you know, put yourself, you know, in front of everything and be like, this isn't about Kansas City, this isn't about here, this isn't about there. Like this is about me and my music, and like taking it to this level, you know?
Right. I mean, because like if your goal is to be like a local legend, then you're not dreaming big enough. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think you don't want it as bad as you think you want it. You know what I mean? You might think you want to be the guy, but like, okay, you're filling up the riot room. That's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd love to fill up the riot room. Yeah, I'd love to have that bit of money in my pocket. But like, I want to be like Drake level. I want to be Kendrick level. That's like that's my goal. Like whether I get there or not is that remains to be seen. But like, I'm at least gonna try. You know what I mean? I'm at least gonna try. I'm not trying to be a Kansas City artist. I'm trying to be the biggest musician in the world who just happens to be from Kansas City. Right. So that's my goal with it.
I think people say that about Tech. Like Tech left here, you know, and was like, all right, I'm gonna do this kind of like on a mainstream level. Everybody got mad, and then he came back and did all this, and it's like, well, look what happened. Like,
no, I think it's definitely important to like get away for a minute too, and like I do. That's like,
you have to,
like even from like I'm from DC, and like this is my getting away with coming here.
And it's not to say that like people want to be, you know, even like guys from Chicago. Like I'm sure there's rappers there that like they don't necessarily want to be the forefront of Chicago as far as rap goes, but like, you know, Chicago's way different than Kansas City. You know, there's people are making it out of Chicago and doing this rap
also
shit,
Chance recorded everything he did in LA and then went back to Chicago.
Yeah, like it's that scene is just so different too. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a self-sustainable scene.
Right.
Like, if you pop in Chicago, you can do shows. Like you can do shows here and there. You can get a little money. Like Kansas City, ain't nobody pulling up to no fucking show. No. If you don't have no clout, don't nobody give a fuck about your music.
Right.
But whether it's good or not, you know, I don't expect people to like, just because I make good music, I don't expect people to like me. I don't expect people to fuck with me like that. I don't expect people to pull up to no shows because I mean, people don't really know my name like that. And that's something that I'm trying to figure out how to get to that point to where people know who I am. I'm trying to learn how to become a buzzing artist. You know what I mean? Like the music, it's easy to make music. It's easy to make, hell, I say it's easy to make good music. If you got it, you got it. But like it's hard to go out there and like put yourself out. Like for me, I'm not like a huge social person, and that's like that's kind of like why I'm kind of in this like space by myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like there's a misconception that like people just think I don't fuck with them, but that's not the case. I just don't really care about what's going on over there. It's not, and it's completely different. Like I want everybody to succeed. I'd love to see every artist in the city succeed on a mainstream level. You know what I mean? Like I love that shit. Like I love when artists drop shit and they get love shown to their shit. But at the same time, I don't really stress myself about what another artist is doing here because I'm more focused on trying to do this shit for myself. I'm trying to figure out how to get buzzing. I'm trying to figure out how to pop because I mean, I already know I'm confident in my music and I know if I can get it in front of people, people will like it. It's just getting it in front of people. That's the hard thing for me because I'm not the type to go out there. I'm not the type to go out and pass out CDs and shit and shake hands, kiss babies. Like that's not my shit. I'd rather be at the crib by myself watching Netflix originals. That's my shit. You know what I mean? So
I definitely identify with that. Like I always like, I mean, a lot of it was like preached to me early on was like social media is everything. I'm like, I don't want to tweet. Like no one cares what I think about it. Like he makes fun of me all the time because I just like tweet something and then I'll delete it like 2 seconds later just because I'm like nobody cares what I think about anything.
That's me on
And
Snap.
it's a weird like marketing versus like just trying to be like who you are and stuff. And it's like at the same time like
well, I think in this day and age, like it's the best time to be that person because, you know, with everything, like people can figure out who you are, you know, like even you just do it, us sitting here talking about, you know, talking to you and doing this interview, like I want to listen to your album again right now, like just from talking to you. So I think like for people being real and like people being genuine and stuff like that, like that's resonating now more than it is ever. I like, we do all these interviews with like all these artists and it's like, I think nowadays it's like the perfect time to like not be cool. Because like back in the day, it's like the artists that were blowing up, like they were big in their city, you know, like everybody fucked with them already, you know, and like all it took was that one person to put them on like a national level. But like now it doesn't matter. Like people don't need to know who you are. Like you don't need to be famous in your city to, you know, blow up or like, you know, get your views on SoundCloud and shit like
Facts.
that.
Like
you
I
you don't need
like
that.
like my ideal. I tell my friends this all the time. Like I want one of two like career paths. I either want to be like the biggest artist in the world to where like I can go off the radar and do like and just like not even like associate with motherfuckers, or I want to be popping enough to make a bunch of money off rap, but nobody knows who I am because I'd be 100% cool with that because like a nigga not trying to go to the grocery store and have people be like, can I take a picture? Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna take the picture because like anybody who supports my music, I fuck with them off rip. But like, I don't like being treated like I'm not regular. You know what I mean? Like even like there are people who like my music a lot and they treat me like I'm popping already. And like even if I was popping, I wouldn't want to be treated any different than I am now. You know what I mean? I'd want somebody to talk. This is regular. I like regular ass conversation. I'm a regular ass dude.
The same way.
So like I don't know. I don't really want to be famous.
Yeah.
Like that's like I feel like being famous kind of sucks. It just seems like
it's crazy. I went to the Lady Gaga show and like with Strange and like Tech was there and it was like people taking pictures with him and people do. I'm like, man, I couldn't ever do that. Whenever I think about that and think of meet and greets and all this stuff that I'm like, I could never do that. Like that's exhausting to me. Is like
that shit does not seem fun because like at some point in time, like the first few meet and greets. Yeah, this shit gonna be tight as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, people come out to see me, people paying money to come see me. What the fuck? But after like thousands, after going on the road, and doing this shit every single night, then I gotta be fake with people. And I ain't trying to be fake with people because that's like, you know,
and then one person catches you on like an off day,
like,
and
oh,
then
he's a dickhead.
Yeah, and then it goes around like he's a dickhead. It's like, what about the 1,500 other selfies I just took?
Exactly. I mean, like you've seen me. You were in a line. You were in a line. You watched me take a selfie with fucking hundreds of people. I'm tired of this shit. Like, I mean, but that sounds like, honestly, that sounds really ungrateful. It's not like, and
You be like a MF Doom or something.
MF Doom is like, he has the career that I'd love to have. The thing is, MF Doom, they like him because he is a dickhead.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to change his personality. Like my guy didn't even do some of his own shows. He sent imposters to go do shows, and what? Like that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, the fact. I mean, that's. Don't get me wrong. That's not cool. Or anything.
It's kind of fucked up.
It's kind of fucked up. People pay to see you, but like the fact that he has the option to do that is pretty tight.
And people like, I bet you people recognize that mask more than they do even his name. Exactly. You know, like that mask means everything. It doesn't. It's not his name. It's not. You know
that shit. And that shit's hella tight because like he's like when he takes that mask off, just like Daft Punk or like fucking the dead mouse guy. Yeah, you know, but I mean he took the mask off, so now he they know his face.
The marshmallow guy, doesn't he wear the
I think so.
Wear the big
all those DJs wear something.
Yeah, they wear some on their head. That's just what they do. But like they can take that shit off and go to the grocery store and have a regular ass life. They just have more money than everybody else. Yeah, that's hella tight. Like I'd love that. I'd love a life like that.
How do you feel about like people that are behind the scenes? I feel like that's kind of like what you're alluding to, is like almost kind of being the guy that's doing it, but you know, not being in the forefront, like, you know, like a producers, engineers.
I feel like the people behind the scenes, like they make the shit possible because again, like I know that I could, like, I definitely could. There's a market for the type of music that I make. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's anybody in the world that can make my music better than me because, you know, it's coming from the source. But, like, the people behind the scenes, they make this shit happen because, especially like with a person, I know I'm hard to work with. I mean, I'm not, like, hard to work with in the terms of, like, I'm not the type of person that's like, no, I'm not going to do that shit. Yeah. But it's like, I don't want to go to no functions. I don't want to go to like, I'd rather stay in the house. I'd rather like be to myself. Like I guess I'm an introvert or whatever, but like it's kind of hard to be an introvert and a popping artist at the same time. The people behind the scenes kind of like, they figure that shit out. Like they figure out how to make the music move. You know what I mean? Like they're super important. Like like if that was my passion, like if I wanted to just make an artist pop, like I'd love to be a person behind the scenes, but like I feel like I'd be robbing the world of like, you know, something, because like I definitely feel like I can make music that connects to people that might help people through some shit. Like I'm not saying like it's gonna do that to everybody, but like there's gonna be somebody in the world that listens to some shit that I made and was like, yo, that shit got me through a tough time. I think that's cool as fuck. Mm-hmm. But like, shit, I don't know. Like,
I want to say shout out to Kendu. You're obviously friends with him. I think he's like,
nigga.
I think if anybody deserves in Kansas City to be on a different level, like he's been putting in work, and his work is
like, Kendu
crazy.
Is like, he definitely he makes like the visuals Cuz makes are like what he has to work with is what makes him.
Yeah.
Like I put him up there. He's probably like my favorite videographer. He's probably my favorite creative. Other than like, you know, the homies I'm always with, like B Will, Eric, like all the homies, like as far as like out of my direct circle, like Kendu's probably my favorite creative out of like the other artists in the city, the graphic designers, there's a bunch of people doing a bunch of different shit. Out of photographers and shit, like Kendu's probably my favorite person out of all of them, cause he has a vision and I have a vision, and like we are able to kind of like mold that shit into something that works. Mm-hmm. I feel like we have a really good work. Like we make really good work together, and it's just my homie. Like I ask, like he gives me good advice and shit because like he's a bit older than me, and like he's been through shit that I'm. Like,
I think his story is like everything, you know. Just
you know what I mean. So like cuz definitely like. You know, I just hang out with that nigga sometimes. Like even if we not working, cause like I see him as like a big brother. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's shout out to Kendu.
Yeah. And I think it's so good if you're like an up and coming artist to like get that like proper, cause like you can put out stuff and then like I'm literally someone who like I'll go to Bandcamp and just scroll through things and try to find stuff. And it's like if your artwork's whack, like I'm not gonna check that. But like if you like your shit like is clean, it looks presented, and like you know you don't like, so that's such an important, even if you like it's almost like fake it till you make it. Not that you're not doing popping or anything, but when you can make yourself already a brand and already have like like an aesthetic and a look before you're even like, you know, at the level where you like that the big guys who do that are.
That
like,
matters,
it's such
you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, it definitely matters.
Well, especially you being an introvert too, you know, you're not wanting to spam people or be all the way out there, you know, like if you can do the small things like that, you know, even as like a, you know, a good pick me up or whatever to put where you are. I have 3 random questions for you, but before we get to those, we got any more questions?
I'm just curious sort of what maybe, I hope I'm not stealing your questions, but like what you're working on now that it's out, you're sort of, have you focused on new music? What are you sort of working on now? What do you've got?
Well, I'm about to shameless plug, you know, this 5 for You video. It's gonna be crazy because, you know, me and Kendu, we just wrapped that shit up. We just finished shooting that. I'm waiting on that to hit my Google Drive. So we gonna drop that. And honestly, we're probably gonna start dropping new music sometime this year. They're super rough demos. Like nothing is presentable right now. But like once we get everything to where it needs to be, we have some really, really good songs in the vault that are a lot different than anything on Memento Mori. So like I'm excited about this year because it's gonna, I feel like this is the year where I'll be able to establish a pretty decent fan base because like I'm gonna drop more music consistently. It's not gonna be like a every week thing, but it's definitely not gonna be a 2-year wait in between like shit. You know what I mean? like I'm not gonna do that no more. So yeah, like that's
cool.
Awesome.
All right, I got 3 random questions for you. You're going to the gas station. What are you gonna get?
It depends. Am I going to a smoke session?
Yeah, sure.
All right. If I'm going to a smoke session, I'm hitting up Quick Trip. I'm not going to any other gas station.
Okay.
Unless like I might go to the Hood 7-Eleven because they got like these peanuts. And they have like this little outer coating on, like they crazy, bro.
I thought you were about to bring up like some backwoods I didn't know about.
Hey, don't get me wrong.
No.
I'm gonna get to that. We gonna get to backwoods.
Okay.
See, I can't really roll the backwoods, so
I don't like backwoods. Honestly,
you don't like backwoods? Nah, I don't trust you.
I smoke
bro.
cigarettes already, man.
I really don't trust you, bro. What? Nah, but like, I'm definitely picking up like. If there's somebody in the session that can roll a backwood, I'm picking up backwoods. If not, if I'm rolling, I'm picking up a pack of Dutches. I don't even like Dutches like that. I just know how to roll them motherfuckers.
Okay.
And like if it's a blunt, then it's a blunt. You know what I mean? But typically, I just carry my little glass piece with me. So you know, we'll
not today though.
Not today though. Stop. You know, I'm not stoned. You know, we good. We good. I pick up a Naked Juice.
Okay. Wow. That's why you go to Quick Trip. That's Quick Trip, right? Naked.
Okay. I mean, you can get one at 7-Eleven
Oh, you
too.
can.
The Berry Blast, like the Blue Machine. My bad. The Berry Blasts, I don't like that shit. The Blue Machine, good. It's probably them peanuts, some wraps, and Naked Juice, the Blue Machine, every time.
Okay.
All right.
One place to record, like if you could record anywhere, it could be fucking outside in the rainforest. Like where would you want to record?
Oh, like in the world?
Yeah.
So, okay, Bon Iver did the tightest shit. Like that nigga went to a cabin in the middle of the woods and like he wrote his album. I think he recorded it there. Like I want to be on some shit like that. Like I got a homie. We talking about like we want to climb a mountain this summer. So like I mean I'm probably not gonna record no music there. But like if I had the resources, I'd definitely love to like I don't know like do something in nature. Like whether that be like shit I ain't gonna say atop a mountain because like that could be fucking hectic.
Yeah.
But like somewhere in nature would be tight. I like to do pull a Bon Iver.
I was listening to some Travis Scott interview and he said that he doesn't like recording in actual studios because he was like, it's not a realistic environment. Like he was like, it's fake. It's like people aren't gonna be listening to my music in the studio.
Like like for me, I don't record none of my shit. None of Memento Mori was recorded in like an actual like fucking A1 AAA studio. Like we was just in the homies. Like my homie Jordan Criddle, he's on the like shit. Well, his name was on the original cover. He was on like the poster, like the little teaser we dropped and shit. He mixed and recorded the album. It's just a little room, and he has some soundproofing, and like it's a place that I'm comfortable in. You know what I mean? Like I'm comfortable recording there, or I'll record in Brandon's basement. because that's where we do all the rough drafts and shit.
Right.
But y'all ain't never gonna hear them because the sound quality ain't ain't all that.
Right.
But it's decent. It's decent enough to know what we want to do with it. But I once we get bread, shit, I'd record anywhere. I definitely love to record. I just want to record in nature. I like writing in nature because it's good energy. You know what I mean? Vitamin D.
Right. If you could smoke with somebody dead or alive, who would it be?
Shit. I'm definitely smoking with Frank Ocean off rip.
Does he smoke weed?
He said I want to say on Futura Free, he said he ain't smoking a year, but he about to light one up. So yeah, hey. I mean he, you know what I mean. Yeah,
make yourself somebody. Maybe he'll.
Yeah, most definitely. I smoke with Frank. Am I picking one person or can I go
keep
down
going?
Donald Glover. Okay. I don't know if he definitely smokes. I think I seen him smoke on a video. You know what I mean? I definitely smoke with Donald Glover. I don't know if Issa Rae smoked, but I definitely smoke with Issa Rae. She cause she a genius. I mean yeah. And then shit. It's a few Instagram models. So
deal.
Yeah.
Deal.
You know.
Well, that's cool, man. It's Eric or Aaron Alexander. You want to go ahead and tell them your social media and shit?
Shit. You can follow me on everything. I mean, my handle for everything is Ignant_A. That's IGNANT_A. That's Twitter, Instagram, shit, Snapchat, all of that. And shit. If you want to talk, just DM me. I'll hit you back. I'll respond. Whatever.
Hit the Spotify.
Yeah, hit the album. Yeah, you can Spotify the album, Apple Music. Just look up Memento Mori, Aaron Alexander. It's there on every streaming platform. Shit, SoundCloud if you want to. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the SoundCloud service, but I mean, nobody has SoundCloud Go. No one has SoundCloud Go. So but yeah, just go to Apple Music or Spotify or shit, any other main streaming services. Do that shit and listen to it. Tell me what you think. We can talk about it. We can chop it up. You got questions, I answer them to the best of my abilities and shit like that.
This is the genius, Chris Calico. Cali, baby. Letting you know you're tuned into Tech Nine's Independent Grind on Dash Radio.